So the Browns are signing Kareem Hunt to replace Nick Chubb, or at least attempt to replace Nick Chubb. We're going to break down this breaking news on today's Cleveland Browns report, run through some Kareem Hunt stats, some highlights, things like that, and talk about what this means for Jerome Ford moving forward and what this running back room is going to look like without Nick Chubb. But Tom Pelissero was the first one I saw reporting the news that the Browns and veteran running back Kareem Hunt have agreed to terms on a one-year deal. That one-year deal is worth up to $4 million. So shout out to Kareem Hunt. He apparently turned down some other offers from other teams because he didn't like the situation, and he still finds himself getting some good money here in the middle of September. But the running back room, Jerome Ford is still going to be your RB1. Kevin Stefanski, speaking to the media yesterday, said Jerome Ford is our RB1. Kareem Hunt will come in as RB2, I think ahead of Pierre Strong Jr. It might not initially look like this in week 3 against Tennessee, but probably after the first game, once Kareem Hunt has his legs back beneath him, he's going to take over as that backup running back. My overall opinion on signing Kareem Hunt compared to going different routes or different directions to try and replace Nick Chubb is he knows the system. He knows the offense. We're in the season now. It's probably their best option. I'm not super stoked about it. I know that Kareem Hunt has a lot of good years in the NFL, or had a lot of good years, of course, with the Chiefs and early on with the Browns once he came home. But I'm not going to get that year of 2022 out of my mind where it looked like Kareem Hunt was just a liability on the field. There were far too many games where it felt like Kareem Hunt would line up in shotgun, take a handoff from Jacoby Brissett, run to his left, and only get to the line of scrimmage. So I'm not going to do cartwheels over Kareem Hunt coming back. Sure, it's an awesome story just because of Kareem Hunt being a Cleveland native, and he's probably the best man for the job given the circumstances of a midseason addition. Want to keep the offense rolling, don't want to spend time on trying to get someone up to speed on what they want to do. But at the same time, Kevin Stefanski did say this is a whole new offense this year, so I don't know if it's going to be the absolute best plug-and-play situation. I'll give you more opinions and takes and things like that throughout the video, but make sure to subscribe because when news happens like this, when breaking news comes out, you know we're going to get you guys a video as soon as possible. So hit the sub button down below and lock yourself in for Browns coverage 24/7. Some stats now for Kareem Hunt. 4 years in Cleveland. Every year was just like a roller coaster, right? First year, he has to serve a suspension, doesn't get a lot of playing time. 2020, though, 841 rushing yards as a backup running back, over 1,000 yards from scrimmage, 11 total touchdowns. Then in 2021, he deals with a calf injury, misses about half of the season. And last year, he plays the full year, but he just doesn't look like that 2020 version of himself, right? Just 3.8 yards a carry. That was a career low. His receiving yards last year, on average, was a career low as well. 468 rushing yards. Again, this is a fun signing given the familiarity with Kareem Hunt. And I don't want Kareem Hunt to fail. Like, I like Kareem Hunt as a player and whatnot. I saw what I saw last year, and that was Kareem Hunt didn't look like a very effective running back. And to be frankly honest with you, he looked like he lost a step. If 2022 Kareem Hunt comes through that door, it's going to be some tough sledding. I don't think Kareem Hunt is going to come in and be the Superman that we all think he will be. I want him to be. This is not me trying to put negativity into the universe saying Kareem Hunt's going to suck. I'm just not going to be fooled based on what I saw last year and believe that that's going to magically turn around this year. That's all I'm trying to say here. But I would love to be proven wrong. I would love for Kareem Hunt in Week 11. I don't even know who the Browns play in Week 11, but picking that random week for no particular reason whatsoever to rush for 200 yards and maybe run over Minkah Fitzpatrick. Oh, they play the Steelers. That's right. So grade the signing for me, A, B, C, D, or F. For me, I'll give it a C+. I think it's an above average signing given his familiarity with the system, where we are in the season now that we are 2 weeks in. So we're still in the infancy stages of the 2023 NFL season, but we still are into the season now. So Kareem Hunt, in my book, gets a C+ signing. I don't think this is going to be a 1,000-yard rusher coming off the street, but I think him and Jerome Ford could do a serviceable job of putting together a good ground attack for Cleveland with no Nick Chubb. And with that, let's turn our attention to Jerome Ford now. Kevin Stefanski, like I said earlier, said Ford is the RB1. He is the next man up. He is the starting running back. I don't know if Jerome Ford has done enough / shown / proven enough to believe that he can hold on to that starting running back job for the rest of the season, right? He might be the starting running back on Sunday against Tennessee. He might be the starting running back in week 4 against Baltimore. But if those 2 starts don't go splendid, maybe after the bye, you see a change going into the next game against the 49ers. Jerome Ford filling in for Chubb on Monday night, 106 rushing yards. Now, a good chunk of that came from that big, long rush he had, 1 receiving touchdown, and he averaged over 6 yards a pop. But if you remove that 1 long rush, it's like 15 carries for 30 to 40 yards or so. So the rush, I don't want to take it away from him. It was a great read, great vision by him to bounce it to the backside and go up the field and turn on the jets and get a nice block from Deshaun and find himself 1 inch short of the end zone. But I think this is going to be a true 50-50 split once Kareem Hunt gets into football shape. I did a short on Kareem Hunt reportedly going to sign with the Browns this morning walking into work. And I was like, as long as Kareem Hunt doesn't look like White Goodman at the end of Dodgeball, he's probably going to be getting a lot of touches early on here. Now, he worked out for the Browns yesterday. If he was White Goodman in Dodgeball at the end of the movie, then he probably would not have been signed. So I'm hopeful that he stayed in football shape and he's been working out this whole time, waiting for the call, waiting for the opportunity, and is ready to go. But we know, we don't know, but we can imagine that being in shape and being in football shape are 2 very different things. And it might take some time to kind of warm up a little bit. And once again, that bye week just feels like it cannot get here soon enough. Initially, I hated having an early bye, but now this bye is a blessing in disguise early on of like, okay, get through these next 2 home games. Even if you come out just 1-1, you're 2-2 going into the bye. The AFC is already looking a bit shaky with the Chiefs not really impressing all that much. The Bills looking pretty mortal, and the Bengals being 0-2. So if the Browns can split these next 2 games at a minimum, 2-2 going into the bye, and everyone kind of regroups and goes, all right, no Nick Chubb. We've gone 2 weeks now without him. This is just the norm moving forward. Let's pull up our bootstraps and let's go on a run the second half of the season. Now, speaking of Nick Chubb, I do want to share some Chubb news and updates with everyone before we get on out of here. Josina Anderson tweeted out, I'm told there were initial discussions of Browns running back Nick Chubb potentially needing 2 surgeries to address his injuries following Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh, with the first surgery coming within the next 7 to 10 days and the second occurring several weeks after per source. This is preliminary talk. Now, she later tweeted on saying, if it's any consolation, Browns fans, I did hear Nick Chubb was in good spirits today, considering the gravity of the circumstances, getting around in crutches with his knee braced and inhibit flexion, whatever that means. It makes sense there'd be some wait time before surgery, which is fluid to allow swelling to recede, then surgically deal with stability and micro repairs and whatever else in whatever sequence. Assessments can evolve once doctors commence any procedure. Chubb is the soul of the team. Miracles can happen in restoring the body. I've gone through my own. Stay faithful, Cleveland. I don't know what miracle Josina went through, but I mean, talk about miracles for the body. Like Javonte Williams for Denver. I know you might not know a lot about his injury recovery, but last year in week 4, he tore his ACL, LCL, everything in his knee pretty much, and he was back for the first day of training camp. Like a lot of people thought he might miss time into the regular season. And he was back day 1 of training camp, not even on the PUP list whatsoever. So fingers crossed we can see something like that from Chubb, but there are definitely and fairly so fears over this might being the last snap he ever played of football, just given the severity of the injury, the same knee he had injured in college, and where he's at age-wise going into the later stages of his NFL career. But one more time, let's show the guy some love. Type 24 down below. I know the Browns have his third year of his contract coming up, and none of the money's guaranteed. I really hope they do something like the Colts did with Andrew Luck, where they just guarantee all the money, and whether or not he plays, he's deserved it. I mean, Nick Chubb has literally done so much for this team. He has been the pillar of this team in so many ways. He has been the only constant through what's been a very turbulent couple of years in Cleveland. I want Nick Chubb to get every single penny of that contract. So hopefully Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, in my eyes, do the right thing and give him his third year of the contract, whether or not he plays. So some final thoughts before we let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We're on to Tennessee. Like, this is a bit of a mirror talk here, kind of getting myself ready. Nick Chubb's gone. He's not coming back. It's football. This happens. We're on to Tennessee. Next man up mentality. The season's not stopping. I know it's going to be a very difficult situation in the locker room to kind of move on mentally, knowing 24 is not in the backfield. He's not in his locker. He's not there right now. But the season continues. It doesn't stop for anyone. And the Browns have a lot riding on this year, right? They went all chips in a lot of moves they made with Zadarius Smith and moving for Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper towards the end of his career, like Myles Garrett in the prime of his career. It's all in, baby. It's all in. So next man up mentality. Let's go Brownies. Let's get a win on Sunday over Tennessee because it's going to be a dogfight. Mike Vrabel and company, they play hard, they play physical, and they are never going to be an easy out. So we're on to Tennessee. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the coverage, consider following me over on Twitter at Matthew Petey. I'm always talking Brownies over there. I'm trying to grow my Twitter platform, so do me a solid and hit me up on Twitter at Matthew Petey.